Hello and good morning. And for today, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a briefing on tutorial on how to do and mesh or Maya mesh. And for this video, I think I'm going to maybe just show you guys how to do an audio notes. Okay. So we're just going to start with the new scene. Right. So what you guys need to do for first thing is you guys may well know that we're going to do an polygon, right? Just find the second one, polygon cube, right? So we're just going to apply the mesh lah. Okay, if you can't find it, okay, you can find the mesh, you need to go to your plugin manager, right? And then you need to find the mesh lah and tick the mesh option. Right, so what we need to do, just click on cube and apply the mesh. Right, so maybe I'm just going to change the number of point, maybe around 20. And distance x, maybe 20, right? You guys can also change this distance y. Okay, it's up to your preference. And we go back to mesh and just find the audio option, audio notes. All right. This pretty well self-explanatory. Basically, it's let you channel your audio to create your mesh animation. So I'm going to click this. All right. So you guys can add audio notes. You just have to take note lah on when you try to maybe try to incorporate your audio, or maybe you want to upload your audio files into the file name. Just take note that it is only compatible with WAV file, which is WAV file. All right. Okay, for in this case, my file is called comeonman dot WAV. Just take note on the type of the file, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is just set a folder and selected the WAV file, right? So we're going to play it. Okay, it kind of look like an audio level, all right? Basically just look like an equalizer, right? Visualizer, basically. Keep that in mind when you're importing your audio that Maya does not support compressed audio format, so you have to bring your own audio lah, which is the WAV file. Okay. All right. You can see this is the file we have selected. And also you guys you notice that it will start to react, right? What to do, we have to set it. You guys can set it to average or spectrum, but in this case, I'm just going to select it spectrum. All right. There's a normal and multiply option also, right? You selected the average, right? So it's going to be look like this. For this one, I'm going to select it on the spectrum. Okay, and I'm going to, because the audio file is short, I'm going to maybe reduce the time frame, maybe around 50, and try to play it. Okay, it looks pretty good. And also, what else can we do with this? Creating by adding your music here also. Right, so one thing you notice, the spectrum, the waveform, getting exactly as the way the spectrum has on music, right? And you guys can change your position X, right? or Y, and position Z also. We're going to change this to 10, right? All right, the stronger the frequency, the more you can see it's transformed lah. It's going to get. So if I change, let's see the rotation on here. It's going to change. Rotation Z. Can also change the scale or your rotation Y. Right. You can also go to your frequency graph. You can customly make your graph basically and just change the interpolation to, it's up to you. Want to make it more smoother, just select the smooth option, right? This can also go change point by point. And there is one thing that you can do to make it more smoother. Just go to smoothing and we're just going to change it to 3. As you can see, it's moved a lot smoother now. Okay, and maybe for this one, I'm going to increase the number of points, maybe 60. Because can also change, scale it, right? Right. Let's change. You guys can also do this way, right? Right. So what you guys can do also, just click on match and you guys can also translate it. Okay. Okay. Mesh audio. Want to scale Z to 45. Okay. and you guys can change the strength of it also. It's up to you. All right, you guys can feel free to try it first. All right. Okay, for another option that I can show you is let me make a new scene. Right, and as usual, just make a cube and apply the mesh. Right, so again, just go to your mesh distribute. So change the distribution type to grid. Right, so I'm going to make a slight changes on brick X. It's 1 6 also. Right, and apply the audio notes. Right, and just upload your audio file, which is the wave file. You can see you can also make it this way also, and on your smoothing try to increase it a bit, right, to 40 frame. Guys can also try to play around, maybe around average. Right, there's another one way to do that. The next way is the third way is you can just recreate, go to polygon modeling, just click a polygon torus or the donut, scale down a bit. Right, to do just we're going to change section radius, maybe 0.2. Right, I'm going to scale a little bit. Subdivision, we're going to change it to 50. And also on subdivision height, I'm going to change it to 50. Right. You can take another term if you want, but you can also create a polygon primitive, and let's create another thing on polygon primitive. Just find pipes. Right. And I'm going to make changes a little bit, maybe on, I'm going to rotate it first 90. Right, just can try to drag it. Yeah, I'm going to scale it a bit. All right, I'm going to change the thickness to 0.1. Right, or radius maybe 0.3. No, 0.5. 0.8. Okay. Zero point 0.1. Let's do it something like this. Close enough. I think we're going to change the Z into 0 again, so it become in the middle of the donut. Change maybe 5. So what I'm going to do is going to click on the mesh, just click pipes and go to your mesh, right? For that, I'm going to change like this bit on, right? Just make new meshes here. And again, you can see we have a lot of mesh, and we go to distributes, can changes the number of how many you want, right? Okay, for this one, I'm going to make a changes to radial and just changes on radial axis to X and Z, right? Right, you can something like this. Just change the number of the radius. Okay, it's up to you to make it more bigger, smaller, and more dense, right? And we can go right ahead and click in on audio notes. And again, just upload your video file, your audio file, the WAV file. Okay. And change the number of frame. Right. Right. So you guys can change number of it. Right. And also changes on average AV. Also do this also. And you guys can change the smoothing option here to make it more smooth. Right. change it back to spectrum again. We're just going to make all in the same value, right? Six. So it will move according to your wave file, lah, right? So that is one way to do that. That is one way to incorporate your wave audio into your uh into your meshes. All right. So you guys can feel free to try to do it on your own. Right. So after this, going to move to another topic of the notes lah. All right. So the next note that we're going to do after this going to be an mesh delay. Right. We have done that. We're going to continue lah with delay node on how to incorporate your mesh using the delay mode in Maya Mesh. So what we need to do, just create a new scene. Right. Delay node is mesh is pretty interesting node. It allow you to inherit some other object animation and entire animation lah, and apply it into your mesh clone. So it's will be very interesting. Let's quickly get into it. So I'm going to start by just as usual. I'm going to make a new cube. All right. So let's get it into the mesh. And on the distribute, also you guys can change it to grid. Right. I'm going to increase the number of grid X to X and Z to 8. So maybe I'm going to maybe expand a little bit. Right. So it become much more like this. Right. We are going to increase the number a little bit, maybe to 14. Okay. This mesh will look like a pretty basic looking scene, and let's see what we want to animate this. All right. We can do some rotation or positioning, and you can see on your meshes. If you select it on your cube, you guys can control the rotation. Right. And also rotate. We can scale this up. Right. Yeah. Can take another note for it. For overall, the whole point is, I think, doesn't give you that proper control over your mesh. So what we want to do is we want to create some kind of bridge between animation of one object that is being applied into our meshes. So the quickest way to do this is let me take some. I'm going to create a locator. Okay, just find the grid and locator. So on the mesh, the pro mesh. So I'm going to hide it first. See, maybe you can try to scale this a little bit on this our locator. what to do is I'm going to select this and I'm going to make a key of it, of the locator. Right? So on the rotate X, maybe I'm going to make an 22. So I'm going to make a key. And I'm going to go to maybe frame 30. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit. As you can see, there is like animation on it. Okay. Maybe on the rotate X, maybe I'm going to make changes to the negative 90, right? Negative 90, and let's click play. As you can see, it's rotated on 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna change the number of our frame to 100, right? So I'm gonna keep it like this for about 60 seconds, and he's when right. Right, so we're going to add another key, right? Maybe on frame 80 and change number to negative 180, right? Right. As you can see, it's going to be constant from frame 80 to 100. Okay. Just a simple rotation going on, and let's spice it up with our, remember our meshes, just unhide it, right? So I'm going to hit shift H on my keyboard. Select this first, shift H. You can see it again, and with your mesh selected, what we're going to do is we're going to create a delay meshes, right? Just find mesh. We're going to find a delay meshes at delay node, right? For the normal, you can also do a normal or follow the leader. Okay, you can set a parameter attribute and play around with this. There's some kind of input here, all right? So what we're going, just remember the locator that we have done. Yeah, just middle click mouse on your locator and drag it into your target. Right. So if you have selected your locator, you can see will follow your animations. Right. And your locator also, maybe we can rename it to delay locator. You guys can also scale it. We have changed the scale of our locator. Is going to inherit some value lah. As you notice, we get a nice looking animation with our locator. As simple as that. So let's quickly change something. We're going to make this even interesting. So I'm going to hide the mesh. Just locator there. Right. Let's say on y-axis. On the first frame, I'm going to make changes y-axis. Okay. Okay. Let's make a zero value. Oh, and I'm going to go to the next frame 31. Maybe I'm going to change the y to 2. Right. And go to frame 80. Change it to 2 also. Right. And height of meshes. See how animation is going to look like. And also make changes on here. Right. Something like this. Can also change the time step average also. You notice how it will influencing all the other meshes when we changes the time variance. Can change the overall time offset also on your mesh delay. Right, so that is one step on how to incorporate your delay node. Right, for the next step is that you're going to create a new scene. Right, so create a new cube and just apply mesh into it. Okay, on distribute, it changes this to grid, right? And change slightly on the X. It also, and maybe 16. Yes, so we have something like this. So we're going to make a new cube, right? You right cube. So we're going to hide this one first. Just left it with this one cube. Let's see, we have this cube right here. So what we can do is we can, if rotate, maybe can do a little bit of expression on the cube. All right. So what we can do is we just go to the X and okay, just go to rotate X and edit and just select it expression. Kind of shot we can copy this. Right. To make expression time 100. Okay, can define in animation there. So just close it and we right. So what we can do, but let me try to create another cube lah. Right. So what we need to do right now, just create another cube and we're going to go to rotate X, right? Expression. Okay. To time time 100. And if we try to play it, so the cube will always rotate by our expression that we have created, right? So the number 100 is going to apply into our cube here, right? Extract it. So we want to have a faster rotation on it. So, okay, just leave it as it be and going to unhide our mesh that we did earlier. All right. And go into the mesh and we're going to incorporate a delay mode in here or delay nodes. Add a delay nodes. Right. And I'm going to select the cube that we have made, right? Just with the click drag into the target, right? And we're going to hide the cube. And if we play it, so it will move into the same direction that we have do on the expression lah, right? The custom expression that we can done, right? It will follow the cube, this cube lah, right? So we have applied our delay. There you have it. So you can do also the same thing with all this primitive action, right? Or maybe you want to change the slightly time variance, can. So time offset, right? You can also select it on your cube. You can also scale it, right? Right. It's up to your preferences. Right. There is one way to do that also. All right. You guys can feel free to try your own delay nodes. Try to incorporate your own cube into it. All right. And that's about it. I think that's most will cover it for your delay notes, and you guys can feel free to experimenting it a little bit on these two delay notes and audio notes. All right, and maybe you guys can maybe mix the two of the notes together and try to come up something looks visually interesting and that have a unique animation. It's up to you. Feel free to experimenting and play around with a little bit lah on this one. Right. I think that's about it for the tutorial.